going on? Hey guys. Ew! Hey you guys, it's Darrnell Bradley. This is for real. My mic cuts out about 5 minutes in this bitch. My bad. Hope y'all enjoy the commentary. Hey DSG, what's going on? It's your boy Darrnell Bradley back at y'all with another interview. And today, we've got the man here. We got the monster, the dude that can just like bring those tracks to that undisputed level. We got Shao Dow. What's going on, man? Shao Dow, Shao Dow, Shao Dow.
You know, I was in my mind. I was like, "How am I going to correct him without it sounding too bad?"
No. I got you. I know. It's like I just when I first, because I'm horrible with names, especially when I first learned them. But I've had yours for a minute. But like for me, for Fable, for the longest time was Fab VL.
I know. Yeah, I like Fable's name actually. I like Fable's name.
Yeah. But I'm glad to have you on the channel. Like,
no, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure and an honor, man. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. No, we tried to get it before, and there were some technical difficulties on my end, but we here.
We got there.
Yeah, but man, I just want to get down to it. So I asked the same first question in all my interviews, and that's how did music find you? How did it become such a big part of your life?
For me, it was a couple things. Firstly, when I was in college, I got my first car at 17. And because 17 is the legal age you're allowed to drive in the UK, so as soon as I turned 17, I started doing driving lessons. Got my first car. It was a 1986 red VW Polo, and I got a friend of mine to install house speakers in the boot. And I was there driving around South London with these massive speakers in my boot, playing Ludacris' Word of Mouth, his first album. And I was just listening to this thing. I was like, "Yo, this dude's so awesome!" Like, I love the way he raps. I love his lyrics, his rhymes, his flow, everything. I want to do that. And I think that it kind of just listening to the way that Ludacris rapped opened my mind to the possibility of writing my own lyrics. And then at the time, there was a group called So Solid Crew. I don't know if you know about them over in America, but So Solid Crew kind of made garage / the early stages of grime, although it was more garage, really popular and really big. And they were some of the first UK acts that I was really hearing with an authentic UK accent, and really just very authentically them, rather than putting on this fake American accent, which a lot of UK hip-hop guys were doing at the time. And so that inspired me as well, because it was I never, when it came to rapping, it was never a case that I was going to pretend to be American. I was always just going to rap with my natural accent. So it was really cool to hear somebody really big, like a big group, doing that and maintaining their accents. So those were the initial inspirations for me. And I tried writing lyrics, and I was whack, really, really bad, like horrible. And then I went to China, and I was studying Kung Fu out there. And whilst I was out there during my downtime, I was writing lyrics. And it was there that I really developed my style and actually started getting objectively good at rapping, to the point where I could actually show other people and not be embarrassed about it. And so, yeah, for me, kind of my career started in China, or at least my ability and my style with rapping started there.
Okay, but I want to actually, that was a question I was going to ask later, but since you touched on it, I'm going to kind of just kind of smosey on into that whole being in China, learning, what was it, Shaolin Kung Fu?
That's it, yeah.
Like what? All right, because you said you had them. That's where the audio cuts out, ladies and gentlemen. Now you got this fabulous voiceover. I asked him what a boot was.
In the what? Oh, in the boot. Oh, yeah, sorry. The what do you call it? The trunk?
Yeah, look at me. Look at me getting it.
Sorry.
Look at me. See what I did? See me? I understand.
Sorry, I forget. Like, I just bust out my UK language and forget that sometimes you guys don't know what I'm talking about. Like on this
Oh, damn! Cut him off. My bad. Shit. See. Yeah. I'm still new at interviews, obviously, but like, nah. The thing was, this man do kung fu. He do kung fu, and then I had some questions. I needed to know where'd they come from. So hey,
that started even further back. That started with Dragon Ball Z. So I went to New York for the first time with my brother. I think when I was about 13 or 14, and we were hanging out at my aunt's place in New York, and just this show came on, and you know, you got to bear in mind, in the UK, we'd never had anything like this before. We obviously get you a lot of American programs, but your throwbacks from like we were behind like 3-4 years. Everything that you're getting, we get like 3-4 years later at the time. Now apparently TV's decent, but I don't watch TV no more, so I don't know. But yeah, we were super behind in terms of cartoons and animations and things like that. So this thing comes on TV, and there's these brothers fighting and punching each other in the face and flying and shooting beams. And I'm like, yo, what is this? Never seen anything like it in my life. And I fell in love with it, and we watched it every single day. We were there throwing pillows around the apartment, trying to do this Kamehameha. And I didn't know what anime was at the time, but all I knew was that this show was one of the best things I've ever seen in my life, and I needed more. So I came back to the UK, and I had to wait like another 2-3 years before Dragon Ball migrated over to UK on Cartoon Network. But in the meantime, I then discovered things like Pokemon, Digimon, you know, all of that kind of stuff. Beyblade.
I said a whole new world, and this man spit a bar.
A whole, yeah, come sing like Aladdin.
Bar.
So yeah, but Dragon Ball was the starting point for me, and I just wanted to learn a Kamehameha. That's all I wanted to do. So I thought, well, they're doing martial arts, they're doing Kung Fu. So as soon as I got back to the UK, I begged my parents to let me enroll in Kung Fu class. So I did that, started training pretty much 4 or 5 times a week. Fell in love with Kung Fu movies, martial arts movies, all the old school Jackie Chan stuff, the original rubbish dubbed Chinese movies where it was probably better to watch it in Chinese than in English. Them sort of things, the Bruce Lees, the Jet Lees, all of it, the Huang Jan Lees. Yeah, the Iron Monkeys. Like, I've been a Donnie Yen fan since before, you know, like from Iron Monkey time when man was young, sort of thing. So yeah, I watched a lot of Kung Fu movies. I taught myself different things from it. I learned weapons watching it, and obviously from classes. And then at some point along the way, I discovered a website that invited you to come to China to learn Shaolin Kung Fu with the monks. So I was like, well, yeah, I'm going to do that. But I was only 16, I think, at the time. So I sat on this thing for 2 years, saved up the money, and eventually went to China to do this. And it only occurred to me on the plane on my way there that maybe this might have been an elaborate scam, and I've just paid a load of money to, like, you know, go to China and have people turn up and laugh at me and then leave, and I'm just going to be stuck in this foreign country with no...
I agree, that'd be some fuck shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm only 18 years old at the time. I just finished college. I didn't know much about life and all of that, but it kind of hit me on the way there. And it was a long flight, by the way. It's not a quick flight there, so I had a lot of time to think about how I might have been scammed and no way to check, because obviously no phone, no internet on the plane. But luckily I got there and it was fine, and it was without a doubt one of the best experiences of my life, and I can say wholeheartedly I wouldn't be the man I am today had I not gone and done that. So yeah, it was...
I was curious as to how long he had been training in the ancient art of ass whoopery.
I mean, I've been training in Kung Fu for most of my adult life, since 13 or 14. I was there for a matter of months rather than years. I would have much preferred to stay for as long as possible, but it's not cheap to do it, and I was paying for it pretty much myself, with some help from my parents, but mainly just from working crappy jobs. So yeah, I wasn't there for as long as I wanted to, but I got what I needed to get out of it, which was the experience, the mentality, the discipline, just being there. You know, it was kind of one of those ones where you wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning and run down a mountain and run back up again before the teacher beats you, you know, and just the whole day is dedicated to training. And if I would fully recommend anybody who's into that kind of thing to do it, because it's just one of those once in a lifetime experiences.
Man, to do things like that, you gotta have a whole nother type of mindset. To run up and down a mountain, are you kidding me? I'd die. I'd be dead. I'd be on the floor somewhere. I don't know. Somebody help, come get me help. But yo, no, on some real stuff though. But yeah, within all that kung fu this man was doing, and he was talking about that, and he applies the shit. It's not only him, you seeing him doing it in the videos or talking about it. No, he applies the shit. This man was in what, UK Ninja Warrior? Yeah, we had to do some homework on this nigga, because he be on there with some other type shit. So when you talk to somebody who was in UK Ninja Warrior, you need to ask questions about the UK Ninja Warrior, because how often you gonna have that opportunity? So obviously that's what this is going to.
It was just one of those ones where, you know, when you watch something on TV and you're like, oh, I can do that. Yeah. Well, I'm one of them people. I'm one of them people. If I say I can do that, then I need to go and do that. And Ninja Warrior, for me, it just seemed like, as you said, it's perfect fit. It made absolute sense for me to do that. It wasn't one of those things where somebody would be confused where they saw me on Ninja Warrior. It'd be like, oh, well, of course he's gone and done that. That makes absolute sense. It's Shao Dow. So yeah, I just applied for it on literally the last day that you could apply for it. And I didn't even really take it seriously. I just went to the gym and film, because they want you to film like an application video. I just happened to be in the gym. I just did one-arm push-ups and filmed my application at the same time, and just sent it in on a random one. Forgot about it, and then about a month or so later, they're like, yeah, can you come in for an audition? So came in. You have to do makeshift courses, but they're not really the full thing. It's like they've put what do you call it, like little markers on the floor, and you got to jump, pretending that gap and stuff like that, or walk along like a little beam, or run up the wall and touch the wall to show that you can do the what do they call it? Yeah. So all of that, I did that, and then again forgot about it. And then about a month or two later, they're like, yeah, you're on the show. You'll be on in about 6 weeks. Happy training. I'm like, nani? And so I just went into hardcore training mode, hit the gym, did as much, preparation as possible, because the thing is, you can be strong, you can have all these abilities, but it doesn't translate to the obstacle course that is Ninja Warrior. And a lot of people don't realize you never get the opportunity to try out these things before you actually do it. So there's a big part of it is luck, because if you guarantee you, if you do the course 3-4 times, you're going to blaze it, right? Because you know what to expect, you know what to do with your body, you know what muscles you need to be using, it's so on and so forth. But the first time you do it, you might just slip or overestimate your ability or something, or underestimate a jump, whatever, and that's where they get their quality entertainment. So my whole thing was, look, I just don't want to fall on the first obstacle and make a fool of myself. If I can get past the first obstacle, I don't care what happens after that. So I just took my time on the first obstacle, did it really carefully, even though I probably could have just, 1 foot it across, because it was the floating steps, or whatever they call it. And I had, the problem is, I had all of these really cool things that I was doing. I was doing all these anime signs. I did the Luffy gear second pose at the beginning of my run. I did Naruto hand signs before I ran across the floating balls, and all sorts of things. And they didn't show any of that. And I think it's because they thought I was throwing. I think they thought I was throwing up gang signs or something like that. That's all I could assume.
Look at me laugh. It's funny. How did I not know my mic wasn't recording?
Yeah. I was showboating like a madman. And the worst part was, like, when I did the upside down thing, and I'm about to come back up, I was like, this would be really hilarious if I drop now. And then I moved my hand and almost missed where I was meant to be holding, and almost dropped. I just think that would have been so funny. But yeah, luckily I didn't embarrass myself on national TV, thankfully. So there you go. But yeah, it was literally just one of those things. It was just like, I want to do this, so I'm going to do it. And that's generally how my life operates.
So now y'all all can see that Shao Dow is a different type of individual. You know what I'm saying? With the Kung Fu and the UK Ninja Warrior and everything else I say to fill space, because y'all can't hear me right now. But on some real shit though, we started to dive into the nerdcore side of things, because y'all know it's this man with the ping game, just to see what he thinks about the nerdcore on that side of things.
You know what? A lot of the top guys are serious inspiration to me as well, because I look at these guys putting out tracks every week, and I'm like, I can't do that. I that's not how my creativity operates. First and foremost, I'm very methodical with music. I sit and consider it and really just mull it over and literally agonize over almost every single word. Sometimes, like, I will be considering, should I put a the there, or should it be an that kind of level of fine-tuning. You know what I mean? So with that, my work rate, I couldn't do releases every week because my level of quality would suffer. So I'm going to try and do a release every month. I'm going to get myself into that, but I fully admire the guys who do it every week and keep and maintain that quality, because it's incredible. But for me, I just know myself well enough to know it's not going to work for me. But I fully respect the guys who release on a weekly basis, because it's not easy at all. Like, to be able to pull out a new creative track every single week, to do the music, to mix it, master it, get everything done right, the lyrics. I know how difficult it is, so I've got full respect for that, man.
And this is pretty much just me agreeing with him, because like what he said was fucking true. Especially me as a reactor, music to new reactor, every yes, do that thing. I like that, and you know, something I want to be on myself one day. But yeah, that was pretty much just what I did here. I was like, yeah, you're right. Basically, you're right.
Yeah, no, I respect it. I fully respect it. But you know, I think I at least proved a point to myself when it came to Inosuke Vidim, in terms of the fact that, you know, I wrote that really quickly, but I took my time and I edited the video myself. I did a bit of the mixing myself. You know, like, yeah, I'm really happy with that track. But that's the kind of thing that I want to be dropping, and so that's not going to be on a weekly basis, but when it comes out, people are going to enjoy it, you know. So yeah.
That track made me lose my shit.
Yeah, I saw, and that made me very happy, so thank you.
Yo, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. And no scare them. That shit had all the energy. That shit was crazy. It had me going all up and down in my chair, going batshit crazy all over this motherfucker. I don't know, like that. It was just a dope song. But like as the interview progressed, you know how we get more into the artist and figure out things on a non-musical spectrum. You know, some of the things that they're just into, period. But this being nerdcore music, what other nerdcore things Shao Dow had going on with his life? So, but he was about that Smash Bros. Because Smash Bros, apparently they had a really big drop. They had a character that shattered the nation. Because I'm over, I saw Shofu react to it. I saw so many people react to it, like losing Afro Senju. He reacted to it. They was losing their mind over this character. So I wanted to see what Shao Dow was gonna say on it.
Oh, you're making me happy now. Yeah, Sephiroth. I mean, the thing is, I'm like a gamer at heart. I just don't game because I'm got so many other things to do. So I like to watch other people play games. So I normally go on YouTube and watch people play the games that I'm interested in, but in 2x speed mode, so that I'm getting all the information, but just a lot quicker. Do you know what I mean? So so I'm watching a Kingdom Hearts 3 Let's Play at the moment, but I'm watching it in double the speed because it's a flipping long game, and I don't have time to sit there and watch somebody play this game in normal mode. And since I discovered the double speed mode, that's pretty much how I watch most YouTube videos, just because I need this information, but I need it quicker. So anyway, exactly that. So, but the one game that I play, and I mean really play, is Smash Bros. That's, I mean, I've got the only console I've got is a Switch. I find it really funny that everybody's upset about the PS5 and I'm here with my Switch. I'm just like, yo, I'm good. So Smash Bros is my game. So anything Smash Bros related, I'm down for, right? And Sephiroth in Smash is incredible. It's just unprecedented. You know what I mean? I mean, it's gonna break the game because the dude has got the range of the entire stage, but it's Sephiroth, so boy. And we get One Winged Angel in the game as well, the theme song. So you know, that's all I'm gonna be playing the game to now. I mean, Smash is just like a love letter to gaming, is what they say. I mean, it's the only game that I'm aware of that has so many iconic reps from so many different games, all just punching each other in the face. It's flipping incredible as a game. Like if you consider the lead. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, from a law perspective, because obviously I'm a law student as well. From a law perspective, it's incredible how they've managed to pull that off. But just from a I flipping love these games perspective, it's incredible. They put Sora in the game, it's over.
Yo, I like Smash Bros. He likes Smash Bros. We talking about Smash Bros. We getting passionate about Smash Bros. But we had to back it up real quick because this man just told me he was a law student. What?
Yeah, I've got a law degree.
He's got a law degree. He a ninja. He do the rapping. He got a law degree. So like, how can that help him in his career? Is what I'm saying.
I mean, I write my own contracts, and when necessary, I read the contracts. But aside from that, it's just being a lawyer was never for me. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not me. I'm a rapper. That's what I do. That's my you know, rapper, lyricist, author, that kind of thing. I'm a creative person, and I've always felt that making a living from my own hard work and being self-employed was my path. So yeah.
Well, I hear what he's saying, but don't nobody be just like get a law degree by accident. So like, obviously I needed some more context. Like how does one go about to be said law degree-ish person if that's not what's happening? You got a law degree, bro. You just wasn't community college. You went and got a law degree. So I needed to know how, what, but why though?
I mean, I just believe that if you're going to go to university, or I guess you guys call it college, right? You probably should just get the best possible degree that gives you the best possible options. So I I had considered being a lawyer at the time when I started, but I really just thought, you know what, with a law degree, I can pretty much do most things. Like, it's just a good degree to have. It opens a lot of doors. I never really envisioned myself being a rapper at the time when I started, but by the time I got to the end of my degree course, I knew that that's what I wanted to be.
I see now at this point, and I feel better. I feel there was context I didn't have before, and now I got it, so we could move on, because there were things I wanted to talk to him about. Like, we went on this man's Twitter, and we seen that he had posted something. I had to ask him about it, because I was like, yo, on some real shit, what's that shit you said about suing people who get you sick?
Yeah, no, it was a philosophical. I like to have a little bit of a mull sometimes. I like to just sit down and think about random things, and sometimes I share my thoughts on Twitter, and unfortunately people often don't understand that this is me just having a little bit of a think, and I'm not being serious about this. But yeah, because I haven't been super well for the past couple of weeks. I don't get ill very often, but I was ill for like one day, and then after that I've had like a bit of a cough and not feeling 100%. So I then got to thinking, I wonder if we're going to get to the point where you can use technology to trace the exact person who gave you this virus or bug or whatever. And then, you know, the next natural thought process from there is, well, when you find out this information, what are you going to do with it? Because most people would want to sue or claim damages or take the person to court or whatever. And so I posed the question, you know, if we had this technology, is it going to be a good thing? Spoiler alert, I think it's a terrible idea, because as many people have rightly said, you're going to get your house burned down for giving a brother a cold or something, you know, or get taken to court for loss of earnings because this guy's caught the flu from you because you sneezed near them. And then you've got the whole, from the legal standpoint, you've got the, can I prove that you willfully or maliciously gave me this, or was it negligence, and all sorts. So I just think it's a can of worms you don't want to be opening, but I just found the responses really interesting, and it was a good discussion.
I like good discussions. I'm down for good discussions. I think people have good discussions via many means. In Twitter, talking about suing people who get you sick, I think it's a good discussion. But just so everybody knows here and in the interview, if you ever hear me talking about some shit like that, I'm high as hell.
Well, the worst part is I don't even smoke, so these are just my normal thoughts.
So you just operate on that kind of chemical imbalance. All right, cool, no problem. I mean, shit, we move on.
Yeah. Well, I think you kind of have to, if you want to be a creative. You got to just go to those kind of mad areas sometimes and just think about, yeah. So no, it was just an interesting thought that I felt to share with people on Twitter. But I have so many different thoughts where I'm like, I can't put this out into the world because I would get cancelled or whatever. Just random, yeah. Do you know what I mean? So like the safe ones I put on my Twitter.
Y'all already know that cancel culture fuck around, take everybody away. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Go ahead, say some of the wrong shit if you want to. Go ahead, y'all better ask I am Dante. Oh my god. But no. I wanted to know about his name, his rap name. You know, we got Shao Dow. You know what I'm saying? You obviously know Shadow, but you know there's more to the name that is there. You know what I'm saying? I asked the man about his name, where it came from. You get it. All right, we move.
Yeah, literally all it was I really liked the name. I liked the idea of the name Shadow, but then I was like, there will be 10,000 other rappers called Shadow. This is a terrible idea. So how do I make this more me? Let me infuse the Shaolin element of it, and there we go, Shao Dow. No, and I always say to new rappers and aspiring artists, the very first thing you should do when you're picking a name is Google it, just to be sure. You know, I've come across people with names. I'm like, do you know that there's a very famous rapper with that exact same name? You're gonna have some issues. You know what I mean? Like, it's yeah. And I'm just like, how did you not research this name before you decided on it and then started your branding and everything? It's not difficult to do. Just stick it in Google and see if there's anybody else with the same name as you, and if there is, change your name, or even naming yourself after like a popular series or franchise or something like that. Like, I'm gonna come out with, like, my rap name is now Mortal Kombat. Good luck finding me. or my name is Sub-Zero or something like that. You know, when I first started, it was Shao Kahn that I had to fight with, but now people know that it's me, so it's all right. Yeah, no, I had so many name issues when I first started, because YouTube used to hate me. Firstly, it was like people would type in Shadow and it's like, did you mean Shadow? Here's everything to do with Shadow, and it's like, no. But now I've at least got enough of a fan base where it realizes that I'm an actual human, so that's fine. It was only recent. Yeah, well, no, it's only recently that my you know, when you type in somebody on Google and they've got like a Google slate, up until like literally this month, it's had me as a film actor, and it's really annoying. I've only been in one film, but I've been in one film, 3 albums, like a whole load of singles, but yeah, the film is the thing that I do. So whenever anybody searched Shao Dow, it said Shao Dow film actor. Now it says rapper. But it's taken years to get that changed. You can't speak to people at Google. They don't exist. Pretty sure it's run by computers.
Just so we're clear, this man is a rapping ninja warrior with a law degree who just happened to fuck around with some movie shit at once, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had a small role in a British film called Shank. That was it, really. I just appeared in a film. I mean, I would be very happy to get further into acting, but it's not something I'm doing or have done currently, much of. So I just found it really amusing that Google seemed to really zero in on the fact that I'd been in one film and label me as a film actor. So yeah, there you go.
So they just said, fuck the music, huh? I ain't even try to get it right.
Yeah, you know, forget all the music. Yeah, forget all the music, yeah. So people used to get confused and be like, "Oh, I didn't realize you was an actor as well." I'm like, "Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a rapper and manga author first. Come on."
Yeah, nah, when he had brought up that shit about the manga thing, I was like, oh yeah, because I had written about wanting to talk to him about that, but he brought it up, so that was like a perfect little segue that y'all will never get to hear because my audio cut out. But nah, he had talked about his author and his manga shit. I was like, yo, that's mad dope. Like, yeah, I want to know about that shit. Fuck.
It's actually at the end of all of my videos, but having now, thanks to you guys, awesome reactors, I get to see people watching my videos. I realize that nobody actually watches the end of the videos. They just stop it as soon as the music stops. So all of this information about the manga and the single is out now that I've been putting at the end, thinking, yes, I'm informing people, I'm giving them good information. Ain't nobody watching that. So I decided to put it at the beginning this time, and suddenly people are like, hey, you got a manga? I'm like, yeah, I've had a manga. So yeah, I've got a manga series. I'm very proud of it. It's a project of love, really, but it's also one of my best-selling items of merchandise, let's call it, on my website. And yeah, I'm just really proud of it. It's just something that I love. And it kind of comes full circle back to Dragon Ball and all of that, because anime and manga is what kind of started my creative career. So I always wanted to tell my story in the form of manga.
Like, basically at this point, I was just kind of letting them know, like, you know, having your own manga, that shit's real cool. I mean, I think that's real dope, and that I probably eventually want one in the future. You know what I'm saying? Hook a nigga up. You feel me? It's a manga about who got their own manga. Nigga, come on now.
I'll sign it for you as well, bro. I'll sign it for you as well. It's you know, like, it's the first volume, and I know where this story is going for the next 5 to 6 volumes. But I guess the problem is me just sitting down in front of the computer and writing it. I always feel a bit bad because I'm like, oh, I've got X amount of other things to do. Or I should be writing a song right now. I should be doing this or that or that. So I keep putting it off, despite the fact that I know people love it. So I've written the first quarter of the second book, and I just need to get back to it, really. But yeah, I'm just really happy with it. It's set in a world where musicians have special powers and abilities based on the size of their fan base. And yeah, it's just a cool story.
I don't care what nobody say. Having your own manga is dope. That's dope as hell. I want to read that. I am gonna read that shit. I mean, who does that? Who does that? But with the manga and the nerdcore thing, I often think about like how artists are, as far as like how they're described, as far as like being called a nerdcore artist, or like, you know, being opposed to like a regular rapper and things like that. So I wanted to pick his brain about that and see what he thought about that, just in general.
I mean, I'm just a rapper, you know. It's not for me to label myself, or it's not even something I want to do, to say that I'm a nerdcore artist, or I'm a this artist, or I'm a that artist. I just make stuff that I think is dope, and if somebody else wants to decide that this is what I am, then that's on you. But I will just make music, you know, and I'll specifically make music for the people who love the music that I make. So currently people are really enjoying me rapping about nerdy things and rapping about certain characters and appearing on these ciphers. So it'd be very stupid of me not to do the thing that people really want me to do, and which is bringing me a bigger fan base. So I'm, you know, like, I make music for myself first and foremost, but of course I also make it for the people who listen and for the fans, for the supporters, etc. So if that's what people want me to do, and if that's what people are responding the best to, then yeah, I will definitely do more nerdcore music, because I mean, fundamentally I enjoy it as well. If I didn't, I wouldn't do it in the first place. But it is also what is bringing me more, I guess, attention and support. And as an artist, of course, I want that. So yeah, I try not to define myself with narrow boxes, because I may not always do nerdcore, or I may become a complete nerdcore artist. I really don't know. I think that when you are creative, you should also be creative with your direction and not just limit yourself to genres or specific boxes, etc. So yeah, I just think that the honest answer is I don't know. The honest answer is I don't know. I just do what I think is right, and I do what I think my listeners will enjoy, and that's it.
This man make dope shit, and that's basically what he getting now. Whether it's nerdcore, regular rap, he gonna spit some dope shit, and that's I more or less knew that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's Shao Dow. That's why he's here. But I wanted to get on into that because I've heard his nerdcore stuff. We've heard his nerdcore stuff. He goes crazy. But I also want to talk about his regular rap stuff, because that he did this once, that Katana Flow shit, bro. I was all over that. So I wanted to know a little bit more like shit like that in Katana Flow.
Well, I mean, funnily enough, Katana Flow is an old track. Yeah, that's from a couple years ago. I mean, the thing is, I guess because I'm new into nerdcore, and not a lot of people realize, but I've been making a living from music for a very, very long time. You know, this is what I've done for most of my adult life, so I had to find a way to monetize my music. It's just that because of coronavirus, and because all of the shows that I had disappeared, because I had, you know, like tours in Canada to do and things like that, I suddenly became very aware that I can't rely it just on my normal income streams, because they might disappear. So I've got to learn new things, and I've got to open my audience up in different ways, and really learn how to do this online thing a lot better. So, you know, I really put more of a focus on developing my online presence and developing my YouTube and things like that. But in the real world, live performances and things like that, I've been doing it.
Opening up for Tech 9 ain't no small shit, so.
No, not at all. I mean, I was his main tour support on his UK tour. So, and I've opened for KRS-One, Black as well, quite a few different people. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to the real world, but I feel that this year has been great in terms of developing more of a presence online, and that's been really good for me.
Yeah, you already know, man. That YouTube, him doing that and like broadening his horizons as far as that goes, that's dope. But I wanted to get his opinion on some of the bullshit that's been said about nerdcore. Fast Snaps and Game Boy just dropped that easy bag, but this interview was done before that. But I wanted to see what he thought.
I think that everybody's entitled to their opinion. Your opinion might be completely wrong, but you're entitled to it. You know, I'm not upset. I'm not upset at you for having an opinion. I just think that you're wrong, and I'm entitled to say it. But no, I know precisely what you're talking about. We don't need to name names or anything, but I think that it's certainly an attitude that quite a lot of people have. And as I tried to speak to this person as politely and as constructively as possible, and as to whether or not I got through to them, I don't know, but I think I summed it up in a later tweet in terms of saying that when you're really good at something and you've put years and your 10,000 hours into becoming a master of your craft and being really good at something, from the outside looking in, it's very easy to perceive it as easy and simple and like you're not really trying. But that's only because you've tried and you've put a lot of work in to get to the point where you can make it look easy. Doesn't mean it is easy. You know, these guys who are getting millions of views or hundreds of thousands of views on their stuff, because I'm not there yet, but I can see that I can get there as long as I keep up my consistency and quality, I can get there. But these guys who are there already, they didn't just wake up, say Sasuke on a track and get 100,000 views. You know, they've had to build their audience. They've had to build the trust in them, all of this kind of stuff. And of course it's jealousy to turn around and say, oh, it's easy, let me just do that and get an easy bag. Of course it's jealousy. And the guy, all credit to him, admitted that he was jealous. But there are ways to say these things and to discredit and discount the level of hard work and the skill that these guys, DPS, Fable, Rustage, Shwabadi, all of these guys who are building up their names, Game Boy Jones, you know what, let me just stop saying names because I will definitely forget somebody and they'll get upset with me. But you know, all of these people who have put the work in to get themselves to this level, to just say that it's easy, that's a disrespect in my opinion. So, you know, I just think that there are better ways to say these things, that, oh, you know, it really appears to be a great scene to get into, or really supportive, or easier way to make money with your skill and talent. But it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. It just so happens that it's a great and very supportive scene, and I'm happy to be in it, and I'm proud to have been welcomed into it. So I'm just very grateful that I've been welcomed with open arms, not only by the artists but by the fans as well.
This is a real stand-up guy. You know what I'm saying? Because I say some mean shit to somebody. I like how he given the diplomatic answers, you know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, you're right, that they can have their opinion and we can say they wrong, which they is. So we go, okay, fine. We gonna leave it there. We gonna leave it there. But then I brought the interview back to talking about more than nerdcore and the other artists and whatever. And I wanted to know who he would want to, you know, work with the most. Because, shit, there are some that are of a level. And I was curious.
I can't do that because somebody will get upset with me. I mean, I will give the diplomatic answer, which is that I'm happy to work with any of the dudes, because they're all dope, dudes and dudettes, because there are some fantastic female rappers in the scene as well. Yeah, come on, and Frivolous Shara, dope. And then there's Chi as well, incredible singer. Yeah, so I mean, there's Savage. Yeah, there's loads of people. So, you know, I just think for me, I'm just happy to work with anybody who's cool. And I enjoy the ciphers, but I much more prefer the kind of one-on-one tracks where you really get to work with the person. So that's my preferred method of working. But for most of my career, I've mainly done stuff solo, so that's just my default. So when it comes to making music on my side, it's just my normal mode of operation to put out a solo track. But once I get to the point where I feel like I've got something to offer in terms of, you know, reliable views and you know, just be able to say that, yeah, you know, you jump on my track and it's definitely going to get X amount of views or whatever, then I'll probably start reaching out to people and saying, yeah, come jump on the track. But for now, I'm kind of just building the brand in the nerdcore scene, if that makes sense.
Now, I said some more things here. There were things said. There were words that I flunked. But the basis of it was, what's your biggest nerdcore track?
That was, I mean, it depends, because I've actually done quite a few nerdcore tracks without really knowing that they're nerdcore tracks, and some of them I might re-release and put a music video to it and put out again, because I didn't know that there was an audience for it, but I did it because I do stuff that I like. But probably my first nerdcore track that got me the attention of people was Nani, and it went from there. That was it was a real trip for me, and I love you guys who do reactions, because I'd never seen it or really understood it before, and I'm like, hold on, I'm going to watch a video of you watching a video and I'm meant to enjoy this. And then I watched it and I was like, I enjoy this, you know, and it's
same shit happened to me.
No, it's incredible. And God bless all of you reactors, because I really do feel it makes a big difference, and it does introduce new people to the music, and I really appreciate it. And it just makes me think, when I'm making the music, right, well, I'm making it for me, I'm making it for the fans, and now I'm also making it for the reactors as well, because I want to spin your heads off. Nani was the first track that I had reactions to, and people really hollering at me, and then Rustage kind of hollered and was like, yo, can you jump on this, and can you write a verse for this, and XYZ, and I was like, yeah, cool. And then, you know, I did my Japanese thing as I had been doing, and that got me attention, and it kind of built from there. And, you know, I went from, because the beginning of the year I had 3,000 subscribers on my channel, now I'm up to like 15k, and I'm like, yo, okay, I must be doing something right. So yeah, for me, it's just about consistency and dope music, as it always has been, but now I'm a bit more targeted in terms of the direction that I'm going for a bit, you know?
Yeah, nah, it was dope getting, as soon as I go through puberty here, sorry. But, Nah, it was dope with him diving into that. But I had also wanted to touch on, with his rap thing, how he does spit that Japanese flow, and how he had got known for doing that. And then you have other artists that do it as well, or do it in other languages, and how they get loosely reference to him and how they can get upset. I referenced Shabadi because he had done something in another language that I thought was Japanese. A lot of reactors thought it was Japanese, and he's like reacting to reaction. He's like, "You're all wrong. What the fuck?" Like, so
No,
I wanted to pick Shao Dow's brain about that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it must be a bit frustrating. I think literally, I don't know why, but I just don't think anybody had really done it before in the way that I've done it. And even if, the thing about me is anything that I do is always very me. So it doesn't matter if other people want to rap in Japanese or rap in a different language, because it will never be what I do. And I'm not trying to claim the title for, I'm the only person who's allowed to rap in Japanese, especially because I'm not even Japanese. There are Japanese rappers who are significantly better at rapping in Japanese than I am, and people who are naturally speaking the language. I've taught myself the language, and for that alone, I feel that respect is due, because I've learned an entire language that was not my native language. I have no business learning. Then I've worked out how to rhyme it on a track and make it make sense and rhyme with English. So with that in mind, I get why it will have inspired other people to do it, and I get why you will get the comparisons. But for me, it's kind of like I'm just me, and I'm just trying to be as creative and as uniquely me as possible. So no matter what I do, it's always going to be in my own lane, in my own way, and I'm always competing with myself rather than trying to copy what other people are doing or do what other people are doing. Because I think there's been other guys who've rapped in Japanese and people are like, "Oh, Shao Dow has to battle them now," and I'm like, no, I don't. They can do what they want. I don't care. It's something, if you want to rap in Japanese, I don't own it. I do not own a language. Do you know how crazy that sounds?
Hey, yo, hand raised in the back, full tilt. I would fucking love it to own a language. I'd be all over that shit, talking all kinds of shit. But I'm also wanting to get into like how him rapping in Japanese could inspire others to do the same versus just a loose referencing.
And that makes me happy. That makes me happy as well, because part of my journey is to inspire. But regardless, I could be on a track with somebody else who raps Japanese, and the way that I do it will be so different and so dopely me that it doesn't matter if anybody else is rapping in a different language, because it's still the way that Shao does it. And I would expect people to come to see how I do things because they're a fan of what I do, rather than just the fact that I rap in Japanese. So I also don't want it to get to the point where people expect me to always rap in Japanese or to do a whole verse in Japanese or whatever, because I really don't know what it is I want to do. I might, because I also speak a bit of French, maybe I might just want to speak French.
Hold on. Pause. So this nigga, he is a rapping ninja warrior with a law degree who speaks English, Japanese, and French. Who am I talking to?
But it just makes sense that because I'm rapping about anime and these characters are inherently Japanese, of course I'm going to rap in their native language. And I find it really amusing because I've had people jump into my DMs like, "So Shao Dow, tell me, why do you rap in Chinese?" I'm like, number one, it's Japanese. Number two, person with an anime avatar and an anime username. The anime that you like is Japanese. No, I just like the character. Yes, but do you understand that this is a Japanese program in which they originally speak Japanese? I'm just paying homage to the origin. It's not my fault that you watch it in dub like a scrub, because everybody knows I'm a snob for this. If you're not watching in sub, I'm gonna shake my head at you. Shake my head at you. But no, I just think that too many things are, I don't even want to say Americanized, let's call it anglicized, where we're spoon-fed everything in our native language and we're given it in a way that is accessible for us. Whereas there are people around the world whose native language is not English, and they have to work it out. They've got to go and learn English in order to be able to consume all of this media that's thrown at them in a language they don't understand. So suddenly we're getting this amazing amazing animations and these amazing programs which are not naturally in English. I think consume it in the way that it was originally made in Japanese, and really understand those inside jokes and hear the original languages and hear how they present it. first. You know, I think Dragon Ball is the only one that I've ever watched initially in English, just because I didn't even know there was a Japanese version at the time. But I watched Dragon Ball Super in Japanese, and I haven't yet watched the dub yet, despite the fact that I love the voice actors. I mean, Sean Schemmel is an incredible guy, and I've worked with him on a couple projects recently. Really, really nice guy. So yeah, that's my rant about sub versus dub. I just think that I'm just trying to pay homage to the origin, which is Japanese. So of course I'm going to rap in Japanese on something that is Japanese.
While we're on this topic, I thought it would be interesting to talk about, you know, rapping in Japanese. One would have the Japanese subtitles, and then usually one would need subtitles for their subtitles, because you get it. So a shot in the dark. I wanted to know what he was gonna say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm normally really, really stubborn, but I think I just kind of feel bad for people at this point, because I'm very staunchly, I don't want to just spoon feed it to you. I also put a lot of time and love into what I do, and I kind of feel that if I don't spell out some of my lyrics and the wordplay, it will go over people's heads, because I've said some stuff in some of these songs before, and people just don't get it, and it's a bit frustrating for me, because I'm like, this, you don't understand. I've just hit you with like a double, maybe even a triple entendre, where I've said something so casually and you just did not get it at all. Case in point, actually, on the Luffy versus Goku track that I did with Rustage, I said something like, drown you in Kamehameha waves because you can't swim. Now, what a lot of people don't realize, because they're scrubs and they've only just gotten into Dragon Ball Z, whereas I went all the way back to Dragon Ball and watched that. When the Kamehameha was first introduced, it was called the Kamehameha wave. So I'm referring to that, as well as the fact that Luffy can't swim, calling it a wave, etc., etc. Just little, very subtle things like that if you don't know your history and you don't know the anime inside out, you might miss. And that's just the first one off the top of my head. But I've said stuff where it's like, yo, you need to know the source material to really catch what I'm saying. To his credit, actually, Professor Kuro gets a lot of them, but even he misses some of the ones that I say as well. So I just thought with Inosuke Rhythm, I would put the English very small to the side. So if you want to just enjoy it and appreciate the Japanese, it's there. But if you want to know what I'm saying in English, you can look to the side and it's there as well. But I'm not going to make it too obvious. More so, just like, I just think the kanji and the hiragana and the katakana, it looks beautiful. It's a beautifully written language. It looks amazing. And I don't want to muddy that up with English all over the place as well. So that's kind of why I put it to the side as well. And also when it came to the chorus, I translated the chorus the first time, and then that's all you get after that. The second, third chorus, it's in Japanese. Like, if you want to know what I said, you gotta go back to the first chorus.
Now that was all dope. Now with all that, what he was talking about, and talking about all the work and the things that he puts into his music, including the nerdcore rap and things like that, I hopped back into like what he thought about, you know, some of the things that were said on Twitter about the topic. You know what I mean? Because like, I feel like, you know, these motherfuckers put that work in. You know they put that work in. So why you gonna pop off the top with some foolishness like that? Because they make good music, period. You know what I mean? So like, I really wanted to know, like, yo, like, what you think? Like, obviously, you know, you don't want to call nobody out like that, and I respect y'all for that always.
No, and you know, I wouldn't call anybody out, because I think that's very unfair. So to be diplomatic, I'll just speak very generally, and I think that fundamentally it just comes down to mastering your craft. A lot of people, I've been asked quite a few times, oh, how do I become a nerdcore artist, or how do I work with Rustage and things like that? And I don't think that should be your goal. Your goal should just be to be a dope lyricist and a rapper, first of all. Master the art of lyricism, of rapping, of being able to ride a beat and rap in time and be on point on the beat, because a lot of people have timing issues and they don't realize, and that's because they're putting too many syllables into their words. They're not properly mathematically filling out the lines properly, so that's where you're going wrong. So that's why you've got too many words or too few words in your lines, and it all sounds a bit wonky. So you need to firstly get that right, get your voice right, really find your mode of delivery and the voice that you're going to use for rapping, and just rap a lot. Just be very good at that, and don't stick yourself to one genre. Because the thing is, if you decide that you're going to be a nerdcore artist and that's all you know how to do, then unfortunately that kind of falls into the criticism that guy had on Twitter, which is that these guys are not good rappers when it comes to anything else. you need to be a good rapper on everything. And it just so happens that you can rap about anime and other nerdy stuff, but if you want to rap about a kettle or your day or shooting up a bank or whatever,
0 to 100 nigga real quick.
you can also do that. And this skill set can apply to so many different things. So just be very, very good at rapping first of all, and then start to think about the genre, but don't rush the process. They say you need to put 10,000 hours into your craft to become a master, and I believe it. If you ain't put 10,000 hours in, then you're not ready yet. So don't expect anything, and don't expect that the world owes you anything. Just expect that you have to work as hard as possible to be the best that you possibly can be, and take it from there. And that's fundamentally what I say.
I respect that answer. I respected that. I like what he said. I like how he approached that, because everybody approached it their way. Y'all have heard me approach it my way, and I respect the way that he approached it. But within all that, I wanted to hop back into, the dude's music, because one of the songs that he had put out that y'all saw me react to, that I lost my shit about, was Inosuke Rhythm. That shit, the energy, the crazy, all that was all of what we listen. That's dope shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what we listen to here. That's our domain. So I wanted to know more about that whole process thing now.
Bro, real talk. I lost my voice. Like I was in the booths screaming. Like, I'm in my studio right now. This studio has heard me, as got a lot of noise out of me. Like, I went in, like fully went in. I had hot water on deck just to make sure that I didn't destroy my throat. But yeah, no, I take what I do very, very seriously. But I've been doing this for over 10 years. It's just so happens that people are now discovering me. So if people start going back through my back catalog, they'll see I've got tracks, I've got a lot of music, and I've been there, done that, and I know how to rap. So, rapping about something that I love is just fun for me. It's like, it doesn't feel like work. It's just that I want to do it right, and I want to make sure that anything I'm putting out is the toppest of the top quality. So that's why it takes me time, just going back to that. But I just, again, just to touch on this whole nerdcore is easy sort of thing, or whatever, what is really the difference between me rapping about fake and imaginary anime characters and comparing myself to them, or rapping as if I'm that character, and rapping about how I sell drugs on the street, or shoot up this guy or murder that guy, or I'm the top drug dealer, or I get all these girls. Like, at least I know one of them is fiction. Do you know what I mean? Like, y'all need to admit, I've seen some of these bread snap you with one hand. You are not shooting anybody or punching up anybody. Let's be very real here. So, I just find it really amusing that people who rap about all of these normal rap tropes and do all of the stereotypical stuff want to talk about how rapping about anime is fake, but it's no more fake than rapping about how you sell drugs by the kilo. Because if you did, you've just incriminated yourself. You remember, I've got a law degree here. You can get yourself in trouble for these kind of things here,
Yeah, when he said that, this man reminded me of this Long Beach Griffey episode when he was the rappers as they rapped about the snitching on their stuff. That whole thing, I just kind of went off on a tangent right here. That's what happened.
There's plenty of rappers who've gone to prison for saying stuff they shouldn't say on track. So if it's between me incriminating myself and me rapping about nerdy anime stuff, I think I know which one I want to go for. Not that I'm actually doing anything worth incriminating, by the way, but I'm just saying, like, rapping about anime is fun, man. Rapping about games is fun. And if people want to enjoy that, and if that pays my bills as well, then God bless all of you. Do you know what I mean? Like, why are people so interested in what other people are doing? I'm just saying, why are people so bothered about what other people are doing? Like, do your thing. Let me just say, I'm not speaking about anybody specifically here either. Before people are like, oh, Shao Dow called out this. I'm not. I'm just talking generally. Just like, let people enjoy things. Let people do what they're doing. If you happen to be extremely good about rapping about the Dungeons and Dragons, and if you've got a fan base for it, then do your thing, man. Like, it's not easy. It's not simple to do. It's taken time to get to that point. So just let the people them do what they want to do, man. Damn. It's an ongoing thing, because there's a lot of people who believe this, and there's going to be a lot of people who believe this, and it's fundamentally they stumble across maybe the guys who aren't ready yet, who aren't technically as good as some others, and they go down that rabbit hole just to laugh, really, and just for their amusement. But if you really look at some of the guys who are extremely good at what they do, myself included, because I have to put myself in there, you can't then say that, you hear a track from you, you can't say that you can't rap on stuff that's not nerdcore, because you've been there, done that, and proved it. So you know, it disproves the narrative. So obviously they're not going to be looking for the guys who are actually good, because it's not easy to laugh at that.
Yeah, y'all know, like him, Fable, Game Boy Jones, Fat Snaps, Dizzy, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I just think that I don't know what I think. I just think that fundamentally people want to have their opinions, that they don't want to be proved wrong, and they want to just stick within their little world views, and that's on them. And really and truly, sometimes it's not even worth trying to convince them, because you've got thousands of people who love what you do. Why even focus on that one person who's determined to hate what you do?
Make sure y'all taking notes.
My general ethos is I don't argue with people on Twitter, and I tried to maintain that when I spoke to the brother, because I wasn't going to argue with him. I was just having a conversation with him. But regardless, I wasn't trying to prove anything to him, because someone was like, "Oh, he's not gonna check out your music," and I was like, "Yeah, but I didn't show him my music. I'm not trying to show him nothing, because I don't particularly care if he likes it or not, because I don't need your approval. There are plenty of people who do approve of me, and I'm going to focus on them." So I think in general, for newer artists as well, the biggest piece of advice I can give is not to focus on the haters and on the people who are determined to dislike you, because there are so many people who want to like you. Focus on them.
Yo, that's facts for any small artist, hell, myself included, man. We all just real shit. But like, within saying that and me understanding everything he talking about, I didn't expect this though.
People didn't like Jesus.
Best example ever.
You know what I mean? Like, Jesus, if people don't like Jesus, what hope do you have? Like, Jesus was out here turning water to wine and feeding people with one loaf of bread, breaking bread upon the people, them like, "Yo, you're hungry? Here's bread, here's fish, free. You want wine? You want wine with that?" And people still found a way to hate him. I'm out here rapping about anime. You think that I haven't given anybody bread and fish? Come on, man. Jesus had sandals, was out here walking on water, and people still were like, yeah, but what hope do I have?
That shit was funny. I don't care what no one says. That man said they didn't like Jesus. What? I didn't even know what to do with that. I didn't know what to do with that. But I thought it was the perfect time to cut the interview on that amazing ass note. But yeah, it was dope having him on, getting his take on things, getting to learn about the guy, the rapper, ninja warrior, lawyer, law degree, the languages, all that good shit, man. But yeah, it was dope having him on. I was glad I was able to get him on, and I just wanted to give him a chance to let y'all know what he had going on with his shit, yo.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was saying on stream earlier, but I think the follow-up to Inosuke Rhythm is going to be called Dio Brando, so that's going to be coming. I don't think I'm putting it out this side of the year just because Christmas and all of that, and I want to make sure that people are around to listen. So I think January is going to be a good time to put that out. And yeah, just please check me out on the socials at Shao Dow Music. My website's diygang.co.uk. I do have a manga there, despite what everybody else thinks. And yeah, just check out my stuff, please, and just continue to enjoy what I do. All of you are what give me y'all give me the career, and I appreciate it. So thank you.
Alright guys, that's it for the interview. Sorry about the audio, but I hope y'all enjoyed the commentary. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, follow me on all that there social media. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow Shadow, do all that good stuff over there. And I'll catch y'all next one, fam. Peace!